This is listener-supported White Roof Radio, episode number 685, recorded Monday, July 25th, 2022. Hey everybody, it's DB in Arizona, bringing you a brand new episode of the world-famous White Roof Radio. Joined tonight, like always, by our good man Todd Pearson, motoringstripes.com, the good Reverend, of course, from DetroitTune.com, Mr. Chad Miller, and Mr. Gabe Bridger from motoringfile.com. We're talking about all the mini news for you for this week and a couple of other things, so let's get right to it. We just talked about the weather, and then it's just like, okay, well, I guess we're going to go ahead and click over to motoringfile.com, and let's take a peek. We had a lot of big news. Sadly, our man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Paddy Hopkirk, he passed away last week from us doing the show.
Yeah.
89.
Yeah, sad news.
Sad news. Such a great guy.
Yep.
Right? Invented rally racing in a Mini. Did it better than everybody else. So awesome.
So yeah, let's talk about Paddy. So we all three, I mean, we're lucky human beings.
We're so lucky.
Especially in the Mini sort of realm of things. We've met Paddy Hopkirk.
Multiple occasions, no less.
Multiple occasions.
Interviewed
Found
him.
him delightful.
Interviewed him. Had drinks with him.
Sweetest man.
Shared a drink with him once.
Yes, I believe we did.
Wonderful human being. He was, and I'll never forget the first time I met him. It was in Chicago, dead of winter, Chicago Auto Show. Why they have it in the dead of winter, I don't know, but they do. And the Mini had introduced their first ever special edition for the new car, the MC40.
Mm-hmm.
And they flew him over, put him in a cab, like literally escorted him up to the stage.
Mm-hmm.
And he was shocked, couldn't believe that anybody knew who he was.
Oh, yeah.
In the United States. This is 2004. And I remember talking to him afterwards. He's just like, he was so humbled by the whole thing.
Yeah.
He just couldn't believe it. And I talked to him more and I realized, like, you know, for everything he'd gone through, he was such a just genuine human being.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Totally was. When did we meet him? 2009?
Yeah, 2009. And
At Mini United in Amsterdam?
I'm trying to find a picture here. That was the first time we met him.
There's a picture of you interviewing him. I stuck it on Facebook. It's up on, It's on White Roof Radio. I found it somewhere.
Yeah.
That was the image for the interview, which we were still looking for. If anybody's wanting to go back and listen to that, as soon as we find it, we're going to get it shared. Hopefully we can find a copy of it. If anybody out there has a copy of it, let me know.
I'm going to drop a picture into the Slack channel here of you, me, Rano, and Paddy having drinks at a table.
Oh, Todd's got
it.
That's the big good picture.
Yeah.
Cool. That'll be the image for the show notes as soon as I get that. So that'll be super cool to see. So yeah, he was just a great guy.
He really was.
He was just, but 89, good run. We'll find some videos. If you want to see some really cool shit, is try to find some videos of Paddy driving at like Monaco or one of the rallies that he drove in the Mini. Oh my God. Truly amazing stuff.
Incredible. And I think that's the thing that you have to remember. Like, you know, people, it's sort of abstract now.
Right.
Yeah.
This guy drove a Mini from Minsk to Monte Carlo.
Yeah.
Across Europe in the snow, half of it, through the mountains, through the switchbacks. This guy was fearless. He went on to actually win his class in Le Mans.
Mm-hmm.
He raced F2 and won. He had done a lot. I mean, he was a race car driver. He was not just a rally driver. Although I always say rally drivers are.
He raced in F2. He was racing John Cooper race cars, wasn't he?
I don't know. That's actually a good question. I don't remember.
I think he was. I'll have to look it up. I'll clarify it later. Anyway, it was sad to see that news. But we're going to find all the things. And like I said, if you ever want just an hour of pure automotive entertainment, just go over to YouTube and just search Paddy Hopkirk. And there's so much good stuff out there. Just check it all out. Gabe got to go. Of all of us, Gabe's the only one. I know you guys are bummed. But Gabe got to go to Mini Take States. We didn't go. Todd didn't go. Todd was in the middle of his house being on fire. I had stuff and other things. Gabe got to go. I'm hearing from everyone, including from Gabe. Gabe, you'll probably clarify, that it was actually an awesome event.
First off, you two were missed. I had several people ask about where you were.
That's nice. That's very sweet, guys. Thank you for that.
What was going on in the world that was more important than many Texas states, and I lied. I said both you guys had your gallbladders removed.
Mine grew back, and I had it out again.
Next to each other, it was a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
So you just went ahead and did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but anyway,
Chad's coming in.
It was a great event. I mean, you go to Modern Found and read the review or read the write up about it. I mean, MTTS 2022 was a scaled down event.
Whoa, what was that?
Oh,
that was Chad.
I think that was a cat.
It's another room. Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
We're in the show. We're in the show now, Chad. So
Got it. That's what I was going to ask.
The Reverend has entered the chat.
yep.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
So there's a scaled down MTTS, and and there's been a pandemic, and gas prices were expensive, and now they're not, but they were then. And who's going to go? Well, it turns out everybody. It was
I saw that
event, and
like 1,000 people, 1,000 cars a day, or 1,000 people a day.
More than that. Oh, it was. I mean, the last day I was there, and it was just getting started. It was over 1,500 easy. It was probably close to 2. So it was massive, and it was just the East Coast. Keep in mind.
Yeah.
So it wasn't quite as big as 18, of course, but it was bigger than any ever expected, and it was also a lot of new folks, a lot of folks first time, a lot of new mini-motors.
There's a lot of them out there. We've talked about that in previous episodes, so we'll dig those out. But yeah, there's a lot of new enthusiasts. Like the enthusiasts are coming back.
Yeah, it's great, and it was great. I met a ton of great folks. I mean, just as somebody who's been around the mini community, to me, it's super heartening to see people who are like kind of new to it and just super excited. Super excited. Like that excitement is cool, like that really, really cool. So I mean, I met the owner of the first GP3 who runs the mini vlog on Instagram.
Yeah.
I met great guy. I met a ton of other folks. Just generally speaking, like had enthusiasm, A lot of people, it was getting weird because you forget, and if you guys were there, the same thing would happen to you. People recognize me, and people start coming up to me and talking to me, and you guys are. I mean, literally, I'm talking to 2 other people who would know what that's like. It's awesome and slightly alarming.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
It's humbling because, like, who am I? Like, I just appreciate people saying that and appreciate, saying that they love what I do and you guys do. And so it was really, really cool to have that. But more than anything, it was just this amazing sort of outpouring of enthusiasm that got me psyched for it. Great event. Let's hope it comes back. I think it's just an incredible thing that Mini's able to do.
And, speaking of technical, and because we don't get Gabe for very much longer, there was a world premiere that happened this weekend. Covered, of course, world premiere of a car that quite possibly, at least to me, has one of the dumbest automobile names ever.
Can I just
Mini Aceman.
Let's back up.
Oh, it's just so bad.
It sounds like the 6th member of Kiss to me.
Let's back it up. Let's back it up.
Aceman.
Let's back it up. Let's back it up for a second. I have no idea who Kiss is, by the way. Actually, I do, but I can't think of a single Kiss song.
I was going to say I can't get to the mute button fast enough to say that's a lie.
Yeah.
No, I think of the song they sing.
Detroit Rock City. Chad knows it well.
Rock City.
Yeah. Detroit?
Yeah, Detroit Rock City. It's a Kiss song.
Yeah.
Detroit?
No, they're not.
No.
That's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit.
Well, everyone claims it, but no one actually lives here.
That's so bullshit. They're probably from like Wichita. All right, so let's talk about the Mini Aceman.
I mean, I'm really sorry, but that name is
I
gone.
first heard this name, and I have sat on, and I'm still sitting on a couple tidbits that I always wonder why I don't talk about them, but I feel obligated. I've been sitting on this name Aceman for a while, and it's going to take some getting used to. Now, good news for those of us who have trouble with the name in the United States is it's not coming here.
Oh, thank God. Oh, so, oops.
It's not coming here. So then that's sad because this is really an incredibly interesting car. So the MINI Aceman is an electric crossover. It is based on the same skateboard platform chassis that the forthcoming MINI Hatch will be on. Sold, I'm sorry, built in China, also potentially not. So
don't mind me.
But these are the next generation Minis. These are the really, really radically rethought, very sophisticated from a technology perspective Minis. The Aceman is the tall version, the 4-door tall version. It is almost exactly the same size as the original Countryman. So let that sink in for a second. Slightly wider, almost the exact same size, but as much space, almost as much space as the current Countryman inside. Think about that.
Okay.
Really.
Wow. Okay.
Taking advantage of that interior space, which is a very heart of MINI thing going back to 1959. Yep.
Exactly. So you've got a car that's the size of the old Countryman with the interior volume of almost the new one. So the Aceman is also the debut of the brand new, really radically rethought MINI design language. What the hell is a design language? Well, design language is essentially a rethink of how MINI designs cars. So forever, we've seen this sort of retro futuristic vibe that started from the R50 and Frank Stephenson and has been sort of riffed on or iterated on for a long time. Unfortunately, along the way, we've gotten fake vents. We've gotten, really weird spaceship sort of things happening in the inside. We've got like overwrought details that as we look at in 2022, we look at them like, it's a little much, right?
Yeah.
As we sort of are surrounded by sort of a minimalist design approach that is led by companies like Apple and, frankly, at this point, everybody. These Minis with these sort of bulbous shapes and all these different things that are happening, they kind of feel a little old. And so what MINI has done is they've embraced that. And they said, well, listen, wait a second. F you guys. We've actually owned minimalism since the 50s. It's actually part of our brand. And so we're going to actually own that. And we're going to create a car that is truly minimal. And if you look at the interior of the car, but also look at the exterior, and it's kind of hidden because there's so much weird stuff going on. There's no fake stuff on this car. There's no scoops. There's nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, there's nothing.
It's all clean. It's all minimal.
Right.
Inside, it's even more stark. There's a single round, massively round OLED display. Yeah. And so there's so much in this car that I love. There's a lot that's weird. There's a lot that I would never want to have in my car that I own. But we all know that's part of the concept. But what isn't part of the concept is the actual car. Like, this is actually a very lightly disguised MINI Aceman that's designed for production to be released in 2024. And I think for me, having a car with probably a range of 200, 250 miles, that size, it's really sad that we're not going to get that in the United States.
Yeah, because that's going to be roughly the same size as the electric Equinox that's coming up, which I only know because I'm looking really hard at replacing one of the ICE cars in my garage with electric. And that one fits the bill, price and range.
Equinox?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they need to really bump out that range, though.
Yeah, so DB, you and I will talk about that. I've worked on that car.
Oh yeah, I know.
So this is different. This is a city car.
Yeah. Which I get.
It's actually much, much smaller than that.
Oh, gotcha.
This is the size of the original Countryman. So it's pretty dramatic.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's little.
But it's the smallest 4-door crossover I think that you can comfortably have and call a family car in 2022.
Yeah. I like the way this one looks. I think the front end looks a little weird because it's kind of extended out. It looks like almost like a Rocket Man that they stretched the nose out 6 inches of, sort of.
These are the shortest overhangs we've seen from MINI in a long time.
I'm not talking about the overhang. I'm talking about the space from the A pillar to the front of the headlight. It looks elongated, like it has an elongated hood bonnet, if you will.
So it's actually got a shorter hood
Weird.
than current Countryman. It's the angles.
So
yeah, okay. because this car is more angular than before, it kind of visually stretches certain aspects of it. So, for instance, if you look at it, it looks super wide as well. It's actually not.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it's pretty interesting what they've done.
It's just very hippie is all.
Well, and you mean it's got hips, and I say that because I looked at it in comparison to, say, the new Toyota RAV4, and the sides are very similar because it's got kind of those squared off fender arches with extra creases, and they talk about that in the press release for this concept too. It's a very bold use of those kind of edges on the car, if you will, and it's starting to morph into kind of your generic SUV. It's still a cool looking car, but I think some of the design language is a little trendy in current, the SUV land. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
They're all doing the similar thing. You drive down the street and you see the new whatever.
You know what drives designers crazy is because they've been working on this car for 5 years now.
Yeah.
Is when we say shit like that.
It sucks when you're 4 years into something and you look up and somebody releases something that looks kind of like what you've been working on for
exactly.
I can't even imagine.
It's like, oh, look, Mazda just came out with something that looks exactly like what we're working on.
Yeah, so it's I mean, having been not in that, but in a similar space, it is infuriating.
But see, that's what
I really like.
If yours is better, it doesn't.
Yeah. On this one, I mean, the one thing that I do find very interesting in this particular car, the Aceman, is the interior. Just the whole. It's a steering wheel, it's a digital dashboard, and it's a big round circle, right? So they got the circle still going on, which is really nice. And then the controls underneath the circle, which is like, okay, cool, it's still a Mini, but then there's nothing else. I'm all about it.
It's the only circle left in the car, because I said this I said a few years ago that Mini was going in that direction. Like the Countryman especially got rid of the round headlights, anything that's even oval, for example, and kind of gone this angular. And the only circle that's been retained, like even the vents now are square. Even the vents on my new Minis are square and no longer round. And so they've gotten away from that circular design language, with the single exception of that center display, which is always, and that is kind of the heart of the original Mini from 1959, because we've all seen it. They used to drive a big pole down through the car, and it would spin around in like 360 so they could work on it and build it. And basically, they plopped the center speedometer in there, and that's been kind of the thing in Minis since the beginning. Mm-hmm.
It's also an economic way to create a left and right hand drive car.
It really is. Yeah.
Did you guys know what's in the center of this car?
Well, you know what I'm not so is I don't see.
It looks like a rail, Gabe.
Yep, it's the center. It's the center rail concept from the original Countryman.
Oh wow, it is, isn't it?
Oh, crime!
I love that concept. It just
no.
It was dumb.
No.
Correct.
Nope.
Are you gonna?
You are alone, Gabe. You are alone in that.
It's not installed on any cars, and nobody made any of the accessories for it.
It's horrible. That's everything.
Wasn't executed well.
Everything broke. The entire the rail was full of French fry dust in every Countryman I ever got into.
Yep.
Like Cheerios, Cheeto dust. I don't care. It was a catch-all for that. No.
The one thing that I kind of am looking at this car overall is I wish Mini would get rid of the whole British flag here, British flag there, taillights.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Grill. The only thing I really like on this one is the roof rack that is in the British flag scheme.
Super rad.
That's kind of cool.
That to me makes sense.
You have
but
idea
like,
what's coming, Chad.
I'm gonna hate it.
You're gonna start. But here's the thing. So side note, and this isn't, I don't think it's talked about, but you actually, as an owner, world premiere of what's going to happen. This is just from a source. The lighting you actually can program, so you don't have to have the UK flag.
And that's kind of what I was seeing in these pictures, because I saw one with a checkerboard, and I was like, okay, that makes more sense.
Right.
So you could program it, but I really feel that some of the whole British flag thing, it needs to step away. It needs to look like a brake light.
I don't know, Chad. I got to say, everywhere I go, no matter where I am, people comment and say how cool the British flag taillights are on both of my Minis. And I never get, I hate that or whatever.
Because it's different than every other boring American car.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
But
you're tired
I'm
of
looking at it as, yes, I'm tired of it, but I'm not going to make a negative comment because I'm tired of it.
Right.
I'm looking at it going, you can barely see that brake light is a brake light because it's a bar and a bar. And nobody knows that, are those on or is that some weird lighting fixture? I don't know. I rear-ended it.
I don't get that. They're really bright in the back, and when they light up, and they've changed them. Chad, I think the first generation of those taillights that were like that, yes, you are correct. But they've improved them now, and they're much more of it lights up.
You're right, Todd. So I've only got a couple minutes left. I will say this. First off, head over to Modern File.
There'll be links to all this in the show notes.
I wrote a very long piece that sort of breaks this down into details. And yes, it sucks. Is this going to be coming to the United States? Probably not. And if you're looking forward to it, I'm sorry. However, this aesthetic and the technology you see in this and everything else, it's coming on all the minis. And so, okay, great. So there's a Countryman coming. So let's back up.
Is it electric?
Why is this not coming to the United States? Yeah. Well, MINI USA looked at this and said, with a 25% tariff
ouch,
Chinese cars, how can we make money on this thing? I mean, the hatch is one thing, and maybe that makes sense. Maybe it may not, but this thing is within 8 inches. I've done some calculations on what I know. It's within 8 inches of the next generation Countryman. So if the Countryman's bigger and designed for the U.S. market specifically, and Todd comes in both ICE, internal combustion engine,
and electric
versions,
and
has more range,
and
is bigger again for the U.S. market. Well, who's going to choose this car? I mean, I might, but I'm in the minority.
Right.
Me too. We are generally, us and our listeners are in the minority wanting the cars that aren't as big.
So the MINI Aceman.
God, worst name ever.
I'm excited for it.
Sorry.
I don't love BB. I don't love the name. When somebody told me this, I swear to God, one of the reasons I didn't tell you guys is because I can't be
that
true.
name.
Oh no,
that name's just.
It's okay. We can debadge it. It's cool.
You know what? Oliver Helmer dropped this a few weeks ago and talked about coming soon, the Aceman concept. So the name has been out there publicly for a couple of weeks now.
I'm talking. A source of mine told me this last year. I mean, it was last.
Oh, like a long time ago.
And I think for me, my immediate thought as a Seinfeld fan is, to have custom made graphics from.
And that say the ass man.
To replace the C and the E in the back.
It's the ass man. You got that right.
That's a Seinfeld.
Yep.
Just so you know. I didn't make that up. All right, gentlemen, I do have to run.
Thanks, Gabe.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. Modernfile.com, as always.
I leave you with the ass man.
Thanks so much.
Have a good night.
Oh, I do think though it does sound like another member of Kiss, doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yes,
we're looking at this. We have.
It's a concept. Everybody's freaking out. It's a concept.
I think it's actually kind of cool. I still think I don't care what Gabe says. I think it looks like a stretched out, squished version of the Rocket Man.
You're not wrong, DB. You're not wrong.
I think the nose is way longer than it used to, but it looks like the Rocketman, if they've made the Rocketman as a shooting brake concept,
right? That's
what it looks like, right? It just totally grew the Rocketman. I think I'm not angry at this at all. It's very cool. And of course, it's not going to come to the States because it's too little, and there's already a Countryman on the way. So, boom.
And
done and done.
You know where you really see that, DB, is when you look at the pictures of the renderings that you don't see the renderings of this where you don't see the door cutouts.
Yeah,
you get the shape of it, and so for people
there's a couple of pictures there too, and I'm gonna have to point one of these out. But in all the photographs, the one that I got to get all the way back down to the bottom of the page. So in the photographs, there's one where it's out on the street, and the camera seems to be maybe 20 feet back, and not quite 3/4 corner, but kind of taken at the driver's side. Well, driver's side for us, front wheel at that angle, just below the belt line.
Yeah,
and it makes the front look really big.
I just put a link in there, and if you go to that, you can open up the whole gallery at once and look at everything and scroll through it. It's a little easier.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm looking at it. I'm wondering if it's fine.
Yeah. But anyway, I know exactly what you mean there.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think it looks cool, but I also think it looks like a Kia. I mean.
Well, and that's why I think
everybody's doing this, like you'd already mentioned, right?
Right. It looks like a Toyota. It looks like a Kia. It looks like a Mazda. They all have the same kind of design language. And Gabe's not wrong, too, when he's like, and my attitude is there are design trends that you notice across any sort of industry, whatever it is. And cars are no different. They're not immune to this, the design trend of those squared off, really chunky fender arches. That's become a thing, and just search for the latest, the 2022 Toyota RAV4, and you'll see what I mean. It's very similar to this. There's a lot of design language that's very similar. I'm not saying they look alike, but there are similarities, and DB, you are 100% correct.
Anyway, go back, motoringfollow.com. You can check out all the stories. And like, for reals, go over to YouTube, do a search for Paddy Hopkirk, and go watch yourself an hour worth of Paddy movies, and we're gonna be amazed.
And by the way, we're going to find, they're kind of lost in the archives, but our interview with Paddy, I hope that we find that, and please keep your eyes peeled. We'll post it everywhere.
And if anybody happens to come across a copy of that, let us know. Shoot us an email, won't you? feedback@whyyourafraid.com. We would greatly appreciate it.
We've only done 700 and some individual pieces of audio that we.
It's actually closer to 1,000. And but when the server crashed, you guys remember when the server crashed in 2011,
the great
2010, the great server crash of 2010. I had to back up. I'm not kidding. We have every audio.
I got it right here.
I'm looking at it on my hard drive.
I got it. Yep, I just found
Paddy,
it.
do you have it?
I just opened my music and searched for Paddy, and here it is from
2009.
It says MU12, which is Mini United. That can't be right. It wasn't 12.
That was the one from 2012. That's a different one.
Yeah, so
because he was at the Mini United 2012 too.
So I at least found that. You're gonna get something.
Fine. Well, you guys will get something, hopefully. Anyway, and then everything else is over at motoringfollow.com. There'll be a link in the show notes. And yes, there'll be show notes soon. Trust me, I'm getting caught up. Anyhow, something I did want to talk about, since just you guys and Gabe's gotten, so we don't have to listen to him, is I'm at the point right now I'm angry at my garage. Because
your personal garage at home?
My personal garage at home.
Okay.
Well, it is that. I have two cars in my garage. I have two gasoline-powered cars that I have to pay for. I am paying for two gasoline-powered cars. Of the two, one of them gets driven approximately 6 miles a day. And the other one gets driven roughly the same amount, but over the course of 1 or 2 days a week. I'm having to pay for this. I have a car payment. I have to pay insurance. I have to put gas in both of these cars. Oh, it's so maddening that this is where we are right now. As I really want an electric car in my garage. Really bad.
And is that because you drive so little? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and so we drive so little in the heat. Arizona for our driving requirements is brutal. We're going to we chew through batteries,
right,
and gas.
You still have to do insurance on it.
Well, you still got to do insurance, yeah. But I don't have to pay for gas, and I'm not have to buy a new battery every year. Well, I don't have to buy, but you know what I'm saying. It annoys me that I have two car payments right now for the amount of car. It would be cheaper for me to have to get Uber or Lyft to go to the office than to own a car. That's how often I have to go to the office.
Yeah,
right. I'm just annoyed right now. Automobiles, and my Twitter's all broken. So my Twitter being broken doesn't help me against being mad at cars. So I'm trying to fix my Twitter so I'm less mad at cars again too.
Well,
my Twitter's nothing but urban bicyclists that are car haters. So it's just rough. You want no part of my Twitter. I swear to God, because it's at like podcasting, and then all the car guys are still there too. Well, so it's really confusing, and it hurts your head to look through my Twitter.
Don't get me started on the bicycle guys, because Dean got so pissed off the other day because a bicyclist ran a red light and she was turning. She had a green light, and the guy ran a red light and she almost just completely killed him.
Yeah, she should have.
She was so angry because he wasn't obeying the same rules of the road that you have to, that cars do. He just blew right through a red light, and she goes, "That guy's going to die."
Those guys suck. I hate that.
Yeah, there's a guy.
And those are the guys that complain louder than anybody else. And then they're the ones that's why I have that's why I'm going to end up getting speed bumps on my street, is because that guy's a dipshit, right? But he thinks he's all high and mighty because he rides bicycles. I hate that guy.
Everybody hates
Sorry. Hate that guy. Anyway, we need an electric. Oh, thank you. That was a Mini 2012 one.
I hope there's something.
Yikes.
I didn't listen to it.
I'll listen.
Yeah.
I'll listen. So what else, Mini? Todd, how are your cars? You've got 2 brand new Minis in your 2 new this year. How are your 2 Minis driving? How do you like them?
I'm good. My Countryman just hit 7 months old. Can you believe it?
Wow, you've had those cars for 7 months already?
I've had the Countryman 7 months. The JCW hardtop, the anniversary edition JCW that we have, is 5 months old. Got it in February. And I gotta say, having the manual, the hardtop JCW is a manual. My Countryman, of course, is an automatic. The manual's way more fun. Oh my gosh! No,
of course.
Still, hands down, I prefer driving that car, but. It's become kind of 50-50 now. It used to be like 80-20. I would rather drive the manual. And maybe I'm getting old, and maybe it's just that this car is so freaking fast.
It's because the automatic's so fast.
My Countryman is just like redonkulous.
Yeah.
I've done just like rudimentary 0 to 60 times, and it's definitely in the 4-second range. It is easily in the 4-second, between 4 and 5 seconds. Which is what it's rated at. I mean, you look it up online, and Car and Driver did it in like 4.4 seconds.
That's why you like that one.
It's ridiculous.
That's why it's 50-50 for you,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
At our age, maybe I'm not going to speak out of turn, but I don't think if I had a car with enough horsepower, if I could actually shift the gears to clock a 4.5 second 0 to 60 with less than 500 horsepower. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like in a manual, you just can't cart it in.
Yeah, give me a Corvette, I could probably do it. But in our car, it'd be rough. And then the car with the automatic, just like bing, 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 bing. Oh, hey, look, 60 miles an hour.
And I've also found that the latest, I've got the 8-speed sport automatic transmission that comes in this, comes standard in the car. And I have found that I am faster shifting it myself because you go into sport manual mode. And then you turn it into full manual mode. It's like it's a 2-step process. Because if you go into sport manual, it just changes the shift patterns. And it hangs onto those. It'll shift itself, and it hangs those gears forever. So like you'll go from first, it'll wrap it up, and then it'll go to second, and it stays in second a really long time. Because if you think about the concept of you're on a track, you want to let off the gas, you want a little bit of engine braking, but you want that immediate power. You don't want to have to downshift to get back into gear. So the car kind of has a bit of a brain to it, and tries to anticipate what you're going to do. Now, just driving around town, it's uncomfortable as heck to leave it in that mode, because here you are. Right. I'm driving down the road and I'm doing 35 miles. I'm doing 45 miles an hour, and the car's in second gear going me, and I'm just waiting to shift. And then finally, I just give up and I pull the paddle, and I'm like, okay, go to third. Good God, go to third. So,
but if you put it in manual mode, then you have to shift like paddle shifters.
Right, you have to shift it. If you take it to red line, it will shift itself. So it won't let you hurt the engine in manual mode, but it gets a little jerky if you're not paying attention.
Yeah, okay. All right, cool. Well, I'm glad you still like those.
It's a new way to drive. So yeah, I still love both cars. They're fantastic. And I got to say, for the work that I do, like let's say I'm going to do like either wrap a whole car or do a roof flag or something, there's giant pieces of vinyl that have to go into the back. So I got giant pieces of vinyl. I got ladders. I got boxes of tools. Man, I love the utility of the Countryman and the space in it. I mean, it's like nice. Chad, do you still have a work van, Chad?
Yeah, we still have our van.
So you know that you love having something that have the utility. I can load it up with tools or whatever I need. Put a ladder in the back of it. You kind of, and DB, you're the same way with the Equinox. You've got room to go to Home Depot and buy 8 bags of mulch if you want to, and nobody cares.
I'll always have to have that big van, because next thing you know, exactly. For the shop, we needed 8 to 12 bags of mulch to make the front look good again.
Right.
We needed to go to Sam's Club to get a case, 8 cases of water and whatever else we needed. All of those type of things. Oh, we need to run to the, cryogenic place to pick up all of our 50 timing chains. It just needs a van to do that type of stuff. But yeah, I probably put maybe 150 miles on it this year, maybe so far. I mean, because we're not obviously going down the Dragon as much as we used to, but still it's a low, but you have to have that vehicle for those options, and hey, it's paid for.
Well, and I'll say,
I'm right there. What's nice about the Countryman though for Todd.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Chad. My Countryman's 7 months old and it has 4,000 miles on it. So I drive it around 550 miles a month.
Wow, that's a lot.
550 miles a month?
Ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it means that DB, like you, my lifestyle would support an electric car in a heartbeat. Yep. And like you, we're looking at our next car purchase, after these is going, one of them will have one ICE car, one electric car in the garage, most definitely.
That's what ours will be. I mean, let me give you an example. How many miles you put on that car, right? I bought my Mini with 60,000 miles on it, and I took it. That was about this time last year, wasn't it? About a year ago. Yeah, because the tags are due. So it was about a year ago. Tags are due. I got to pay the tags this week. Anyway, I'm up to 64,000 miles on that car.
So you did 4,000 miles in a year.
I barely did 4,000 miles this year in 1 year in that car.
Yeah, but I mean, half of your miles are on bike miles too. So I mean,
no, yeah, but I'm just telling you how little I drive the car. Remember my first Mini? I blew through the warranty because I put 50,000 miles on that car in the first 14 months that I owned it. Well, and now I'm back. Now I'm down to having a car that I drive 4,000 miles over 12 months, whatever it is, 300 miles a month.
I know,
and times change. Yeah. Things Crazy. Happen. I mean, we were, for our household, me and Steph were both working at the same job. So we, carpooled all the time. Yeah. So literally for, the beginning of COVID, all of these things, she had a brand new GTI. She wasn't putting a ton of miles on this at all. Well, now things have changed. She's now got a new job. She's doing different things. She's putting a lot more miles on these cars. Right. And given we have a couple of other fun cars that we kind of slide in here and there, but she's now putting more miles on it. And she's like, oh, I can't do this, or I don't want to do that. Or, okay, well, those were all things that we did pre $6 a gallon or whatever. We just have to work with this. It's all going to change. Everything's going to, upset. And there's, everything in the world takes a swing all the way to the one side, takes a swing all the way to the other. And it will balance out somewhere in the middle eventually.
Here's my mental headache in this, in DB like you, is to think, and it's even worse, that I've got a $52,000 Mini sitting in my garage that I drive 500 miles a month. And there's no justification for that whatsoever. Like financially, I need to be driving something like a Kia Soul that costs $23,000.
Yeah, me too.
It makes more sense. However, I enjoy the car. It's not a financial stress or a burden for me. It's not that big of a deal, but I do kind of get that kind of, is it really worth it?
It isn't it's the same thing for me. I'm just like looking at that, just going, why? But why? Why? Yeah. Just right now, and probably for the rest of my life, is I will be able to enjoy either a full-time work from home remote position or a hybrid work position where I'll be in the office less than 50% of the time, right? 2 days a week in the office. I will never, at least for every day, have to drive a car more than 40 miles a day.
Yeah, and you know what, DB?
Unless I'm going on a road trip or something, but like for just the course of my regular commute, those days for me are gone.
And I'm wondering if that's the new world too, because I bet half the workforce is in the same position as you, which then begs the question: in the next 2 years, what's that going to do to car sales in general? Is anybody going to give a shit about a nice, expensive car because they're like, you know what? I work at home. Shit, there's 3 days a week when I don't leave the house. Like I'll go take a walk or whatever, but I don't get in my car, and I'm like that now. There's at least 2 or 3 days a week when I literally don't get in and start the car.
Right.
Now, my wife on the other hand, she still has to go to work.
Plug-in.
Right.
I mean, because I live in Arizona and I don't have an electric bicycle yet, I still have to use my car to go to the gym,
right,
or go to the grocery store.
Well, because also you don't want to ride the bicycle when it's like 119 degrees outside.
Yeah, if I had an electric bicycle with a throttle, I would, but that's a story for the bike show.
You're not gonna go grocery shopping on a bike, though. You're going to go grocery shopping in a car because, well...
I'll go grocery shopping on a bike, Chad. Well, that's a topic for another thing. But you honestly, you have no idea.
His ice cream will be melted by the time he gets home.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not buying ice cream.
Yeah, exactly. You can buy small items on a bike. Theoretically. But you're not going grocery shopping.
You're not going to Costco.
We're out of all of the essentials, like I need flour and all of these things, and they're all big things. And we buy, you buy $400 worth of groceries. You're still going to need a car to transport that. Yes, I fully support. Hey, I'm going down on my bike and I'm going to go get, a broccoli and a cauliflower and a couple of vegetables, and I'm going to throw that into my backpack, and I'm done.
Yeah,
awesome.
You're right, Chad. It's a lifestyle. If you're going to do that, you're going to choose that lifestyle, and you're going to be going to the store quite a bit because, unlike the rest of us, so you're like Chad, I'm with you. We'll go to Costco once a month and load up. We'll get $200-$300 worth of stuff and dump it in the back of the, back of the country.
Yeah, you're always going to have to get that fresh produce from time to time, and that's where the bicycle will work well.
Exactly.
But you also still have to have the big shopping times, and that's where the car is going to come into effect. You're like, okay, I've got 36 bags here. They all need to go into this, and that's where bike.
I didn't say I was going to go car free, fellas. I said
I know.
It annoys me that I have two car payments and I pay insurance on two cars, and then I put gas in two cars, and when they're not combined, both of our cars are driven less than one of Todd's.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm paying insurance on 8 cars right now.
Oh, man. And Chad, do you have property taxes in Michigan that are brutal also?
We don't pay property tax on cars. We don't pay tax on property.
I'm going to tell you guys something that will make your balls shrivel up to the size of raisins.
No, thank you.
So...
I already know exactly what you're going to say.
Really? That my countrymen? Just take a wild guess what my annual property tax is for my countrymen.
Oh,
is that your tags?
Yeah. So to renew my tags,
$1,800.
In Arizona on the countryman, because Kelly's car is like $500. I'm gonna say the countryman's like, this will be your first year, so your tags will be due. I'm gonna say because $600.
Yeah, it
was
a
year,
almost 8.
Oh, dude! Oh my god!
Yeah, almost $800 for a year to license that car.
Yikes!
And it goes down every year, so there's quote unquote
California.
Yeah, there's quote unquote
almost as bad
depreciation, but
Steph used to live in Virginia, and she used to pay about $500 a year just to have her car in the state of Virginia.
That's what it is here. That's what it is in Johnson County, Kansas. Is the property taxes alone are like almost $800 on the countryman.
Every state is different in how they get you coming and going, but other things will be cheaper. So it's all a toss up.
So when you think about it, in addition to the monthly car payment, $800 divided by 12, there's $67 a month in tax just to have the car, whether I drive it or not, just to have it in my garage. So insurance, taxes, all of that stuff. It doesn't make financial sense at all.
It makes no financial sense, and that's what's annoying me right now.
Yeah,
I have a grocery store
to drop you off at the dealer, so you can do some stripes, pick you back up later.
I have a grocery store across the street. I have a liquor store next door. I mean, for everyday stuff, I don't need a car. It's annoying.
Yep.
And I'm gone on about this now for entirely too long for an automobile podcast about how much I'm being annoyed by cars. And again, blame my Twitter feed. My Twitter feed's broken because of all the urbanite bicycle guys mixed in with all of Patrick George's guys. So it's really...
Yeah.
It's rough.
Well, I will say that the world is changing in a lot of different ways, whether it's ecological, whether it's healthcare, whether it's personal things. I mean, we had things shut down in the state because people just couldn't just chill their shit over basic life skills. Anyway. I definitely think, when you're looking at the whole electric movement and cars in general and gas and, are all of these things overinflated? Things are changing. I mean, the way you order a car is changing. The dealership experience, just with even the big three. Now, I'm not talking Mini in general. Right. Those things are all changing, and I'm seeing it live in my household right now in how these things are happening. And the virtual experience is becoming forefront. And I almost predict, hear me now. Here's Gabe saying this is what's going to happen. I predict my girlfriend is going to be selling cars on the internet before too long, and she's going to be making a commission because somebody bought a car off of her showing it on the internet.
Naked.
Yes.
Well, that's the OnlyFans side of things. But
I mean, hey, there's a plus side to that because
she's laughing.
People might pay a premium, right? I'm just saying it's a concept.
Easy. This is still for public consumption, Todd. We're on Black Roof.
I'm just giving it to you for free. That's all I'm saying.
She told me today that there's a Cadillac that you can buy now that it's $300,000 for this Cadillac.
Yeah.
It's a concept, but it's probably already in production.
Well, and if you follow Mr. Bridger, he worked on that.
Yeah, he worked on that.
Yeah.
And, again, that car is twice the cost of my house, not twice, but the cost of my house.
Right. And
so do you want a car that costs that much?
Well, and can I say also, just to tag on this, and then we'll wrap up for the week, because it's tough because we haven't done this for a while, so we've been on kind of summer hiatus because we're going 12 different directions. But anyway, my cousin has a Tesla. He has a Model S, and he went full on with Tesla. So he put solar panels on the roof of his house, and he just got a couple of months ago got the Tesla Powerwall installed in his garage. So he literally pays nothing to drive his car because the solar panels power the Powerwall, which then charges his car, and he pays nothing, and he still makes more electricity to boost a little bit of the home use, for what he uses at the house, because he can store that power in batteries on the wall. So what I'm saying, the reason I tell this story is that is what I think, Chad, like you're saying, that is the future. That is what's shifting, and it's the dream for all of us, is to go, I don't have to pay gas. I don't have to pay for any of this, and it's kind of self-sustaining. It's environmental.
You're getting away
it makes
from people
sense.
that are forcing you to do other things,
right?
And forcing you to pay their thing is like, well, this doesn't cost me anything. I can go this way, and I have to buy this one thing, but I never have to buy it again.
Right. As much as I think Elon Musk is a complete jagoff, he's got some great concepts, and that whole idea of that is a fantastic concept. And it's working. You can do it now. It costs you a crap ton of money, but you can do it.
But will that sustainably work long term?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
solar
the one
panels.
thing.
Solar panels on a roof in Arizona have a life of 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Well, and
you get that done.
They're getting
and then the
cheaper.
cost savings and the cost offset. Plus, not only that, but also remember too that every house that you put on solar releases some pressure off the grid in general, right? So it makes everything work better. And Arizona's a crap load of houses with solar on the roofs because we get sun 385 days a year. That's how much sun we get. We get so much sun, it's extra
so more
sun.
Than a year.
Yeah,
of sun.
We get more than a year's worth of sun over the course of a year. Anyway, it's just crazy. If I had solar panels on my roof, my electric bill would be $20 a month.
Right.
Yeah.
Literally, because I've talked to my neighbors and they say, my electric bill's like $20 a month in the middle of summer.
So that's the dream.
It's all better. It's better for all the things.
And it's taken how long have we been talking about electric cars? 15 years probably.
Freaking ever.
Since like the original Tesla, the Roadster came out. I don't know how long ago that, but
since the Jetsons cartoon came out in 1968.
It really takes the person, all of us, all of our friends, all of our family's friends, to adopt these things. To
right.
be like, but that's a really good thing, because 1980s diesels didn't work because everyone's like, oh, this sucks. And then nobody wanted to adopt it. Even though it got to be better, it still became something that somebody needed to get through their head. Oh, this is a good thing.
Right. And Chad, like you said earlier in the show, think the problem is range for a lot of people going, you know what, I can guess that a mini electric might be fun, but 110 miles just isn't enough for my lifestyle. And when it really is, but we're getting over that mental hurdle. And even you said 250 probably isn't enough. So if we get to where it's common that you buy a car and you're like 400 miles and it only takes you 30 minutes to charge it up, all right, it starts to make sense now, and everybody can shift their life at, hey, take 30 minutes out of your freaking day to charge your car and stop complaining, because you don't nobody's driving 400 miles a day.
No, they're not.
And
those are road trips.
Yeah.
But, and there's people out there. So I remember because I met that guy at a Cars and Coffee.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, yeah, but dude, you have to drive your car. You do sales or something. So for you people that do have to drive beyond the limits of an electric car, just don't say anything because nobody cares. Don't be that guy.
Don't be the exception that disproves the rule because that doesn't exist.
Yeah, don't be that guy. It's just clearly you can't drive an electric car, so why are you going to chime in to be a dick about it?
Right,
there's nothing wrong with electric cars because you're got to drive around and do sales calls all day, and you drive 1,000 miles a week.
I know.
Well, duh.
And
you
that's
can't use an electric car. Don't be butthurt about it.
Yeah, that's the problem with our world today. Is that if you think of one exception that will tear something down, you think, all right, I've disproven it. I've thought of one freak, example that is so outlier that
it works for so many other people.
And you're like, you're right, DB. Just shut up and go away. Nobody wants to hear that.
If you can't say something nice, don't say anything else. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Unless we're talking about the rail in the Countryman, because there's nothing.
Oh God, that's the dumbest thing ever. Gabe is so wrong about that. You remember the commercial with the sushi chef in the back seat, and they're passing sushi up on the rail. Remember that?
Okay,
that video they made.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you the story.
That never happened.
This is it, and we're going to wrap. I'm going to tell you the story. Mini Takes the States, 2010, and the Countryman was still.
And the Countryman had that third rail.
It just had come out, like it was brand new, and Jim McDowell, who was the head of Mini USA at the time, was driving this new Countryman, and I think it was pre-production even at the time.
Dude, that was the car. We drove that car too, didn't we?
So,
no, you're 2010.
We didn't.
Never mind.
This was 2010. Mini Takes the States 2010.
Yeah. Sorry.
And
keep going.
So anyway, we get to Denver, Colorado. I think is where it ended that year.
Yeah.
And Jim McDowell gifted me with the cup holder from the rail of his Countryman because it already broke off. It already snapped off the rail. And it was a joke, and he gave it to me, and I still have it somewhere in a box. But that is like what a cluster it was. It was a great idea that was poorly executed.
It's only worth something if he signed it.
Hey,
I'm going to continue to say, Todd, on that, and then this will be the big bombshell, and then I'll be done.
Yeah.
Is that just continues to prove the fact that our cars quality was not job one on those cars. Not even a little bit.
You're not wrong.
I think plastic in general is just not quite where it should be.
Yeah.
Or at least it wasn't during the R car generation.
Plastic everywhere.
Well, because you remember the little the sunglasses case that snapped into that rail, and it looked like it basically it had a Mini logo on it. It was a sunglasses case, and it looked like the coffin from Star Trek that they shot Spock out into space. You know, it was.
Dude, I remember that.
You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It looks like the Spock coffin that they they shoot out into space, and it was for your sunglasses, and it put on.
Did they ever make any more accessories? For
well, I don't know, but what I'm saying is every Countryman I ever got into that was snapped off, and that little sunglasses case was resting. It was like rattling around in between the rail. Because the thing had broken off, and never did I see one that was functioning. Never once.
They needed Mini Finny to get in and make some accessories so that, like that cup holder that you could not remove from your car if you had a 05 R53.
I know
that's not coming out ever.
And you guys said
permanently mounted.
You remember the commercial where they were doing sushi? There's a sushi chef in the back making stuff, and
I just talked about that.
I know you just said it, and I remember the commercial, and I'm like,
you just remember? Yeah, it's funny.
Todd's trying to steal DB's thunder.
No, I was saying you said it. I was just following up.
Yeah. That was crazy balls. Anyway, I think we're time for us to be done because
we're done.
The problem is a lot of problems here. There's a lot of problems tonight, and the number one problem is that we actually haven't done this in like 2 months.
Yeah.
And when we don't do this for 2 months, we need to like do a show and then come back and do another show because we're just too excited because we haven't talked to each other in 2 months. So, and for that, we apologize in advance.
Yeah.
But we are done for the night. So, whatever. Buy me coffee if you want. I don't care. That's great. I appreciate you guys have done it so far. Wait for us to kind of get back on track here. Right, which we're working on. As soon as Todd's house stops blowing up, and as soon as I can get my social calendar back under control, and Chad hires like 10 more people to keep the shop going.
At least 10.
At least 10, maybe 20. It's gonna be like a 15-bay thing. It's ridiculous.
We're adding a second story at this point right now.
That's what I was thinking. Plus underground parking
through the roof. Yeah, exactly. All
and
of
then
it.
You're setting up the pull out back for the kids. Right?
You're right. No, the sprinkler. That's it. That's all you get. Sprinkler.
the little slip and slide action. Come on. Oh, just the rainbird. Okay, that's it.
That's all you get. Sprinkler.
That's all you get.
and just so you guys know that in the last 2 weeks, 3 different orders that have come in for me at Motoring Stripes, people have commented, and it was just a thank you for bringing White Roof Radio back. I really enjoy it. So just so you guys know, and if it's coming from those 3 people, a lot more people say the same thing. But it was odd to me that within 2 weeks, I get these messages completely random from nowhere.
It was Mini Takes the States.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
And that's all. That was 100% Rich. Rich, thank you for that. We know that's all you, buddy. We're totally bummed that none of us can make it. You have no idea how bummed we were that we did not make Mini Takes the States.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. We just couldn't make it. Couldn't pull it off.
Yep. I'm in the middle of home reno hell, so...
Yeah, and I just had all the other things. You guys know what's going on in my life. It just didn't have time. Chad's too busy with work because he hasn't been able to hire the 30 more people that he needs to run Detroit Tune.
Yes.
So we are working on it.
We'll be back soon.
But we do appreciate you guys asking about us.
Yes,
I know you guys did. So thank you very much. We love you guys for that. But we are done for the week.
And tell your friends. Tell your friends.
Yeah, tell your friends. Keep an eye on whiteroofradio.com. Make sure if you like what we're doing, share. If you don't, well, you could still share and say these guys are full of shit, but they're fun to listen to sometimes. And that's great too. Whatever.
Which is the truth. That's really the truth.
I mean, that's the truth. You guys know we talk about our ass most of the time anyway. But keep sharing to your friends. Whatever. That's all great stuff. And just pay attention. I'm gonna be fixing all the things that are broken. But that's it for the night. If you guys have any questions, you know the things, questions, comments, or concerns, right? Click back over to whiteroofradio.com. Leave a note in the show notes. Comments are open. Everything's working great, by the way. You can also email us at feedback@whiteroofradio.com. Remember that sometimes we're a little bit slow getting back on email, but we do get to it, and I've got that sorted out so the emails actually come to my inbox correctly. So those of you guys who use those, we're getting them, and we do appreciate the emails. Anyway, till next time, gang, this DB. I'm done.
Cheers.
See ya.